Back, everyone. Yeah. Good to be back. All right. Let's start out with some mindful movement. And I'm already seated, so let's just start out with some gentle shoulder rolls. And then switching directions. And then if standing up is accessible for you today, then let's do that. And if not, then stay in your chair or lying down or however you are right now. And we're just going to do a little bit of breath and movement coordination. And so we'll be breathing in as the arms rise, knees bent, and then we'll be breathing out as the hands come down in front of the body. And again, the knees are nice and bent, they're not locked. So whenever, and let's pay attention to breathing into the belly. So let's do that first, actually. This is a way we can calm the nervous system. And so when you're breathing in, you want your navel to push out. So breathing in, breathing out. It's going to come a little bit closer to the camera so you can see the movement of my belly a little bit easier. So breathing in and out. And out. So this is, some people call this full yogic breath, where you breathe first into the belly and then the air comes up into the chest and you fill up the chest. If this is new to you and you're noticing that it's hard to feel the navel coming out with the in-breath, so it's hard to have it go in that motion. If it's going backwards, you might want to lay down and do it, because the breath is actually the most important thing in this exercise. So if that's something that you've done before and that's not difficult, then go ahead and stand up, bend the knees, nice soft stance. And again, we're going to be paying attention as we breathe in, belly expands, diaphragm, because the diaphragm is pushing down, and so the belly is moving out. Belly expands with the in-breath, then the chest fills, and then belly softens with the out-breath, navel moves towards spine. And then we're going to add the arm movements. So whenever you're ready, and you can go at your own pace, go at your own pace of your own breathing. Whenever you're ready, breathing in. Do a couple more like that with the breathing in as your hands rise and the breathing out as your hands move down your body. Nice and slow. Feel your feet. Really rooted into the feet as you do this. In Tai Chi or Qigong, we would be collecting energy, collecting chi, and then moving that chi down through the body You might imagine that your hands are scanning the body for any stuck energy and then releasing anything that's unneeded into the earth. So we're gathering loving energy from the universe. And then it's kind of like, I imagine it raining down on my head. And close your eyes while you do this too, if you want. Really being rooted into the feet as you do this. Energy moves down the body with the out breath. Anything that's no longer needed can just go right down through the legs, into the feet, into the earth to be recycled. Breathing in the new, releasing anything that's stagnant or unnecessary. And then when you get to the bottom, shaking the hands out, imagining that if we are able to move energy like this, that you're releasing any of this stagnant energy into the earth. And you don't necessarily need to believe that to be able to do this. Kind of shaking the body out a little bit too. And this can be a way of, if you've been around a lot of tension or stress or in a difficult environment, this is something that I will do. A friend taught me who had learned it from a Qigong master, that this is a way of clearing energy, of bringing in new energy, moving that energy into the crown, into the body, and releasing the old down into the earth. And the way I was taught was to do that 3 times, do that cycle 3 times, shake the hands into the earth, and then to put the hands on the energy center. So in Qigong and Tai Chi, it's called the Dantian, right below the belly button, center of power. So take a moment just to place your hands over one another, just below the belly button, and just feel your center of gravity, your center of power. Breathe into the belly. And then with eyes open or closed, just start to shift from one foot to the other. Just really feeling the feet, getting a sense of the heaviness, the groundedness of your body on the floor. Really rooting your feet into the ground. And then just taking a moment, maybe with eyes closed, if your balance is okay with your eyes closed, and just asking the body, how does it want to move? Like, is there a stretch or a way that the body intuitively wants to move? Maybe you're at work, maybe you're sitting in a chair, it's all fine. Maybe you're tired today and you're laying in your bed. And then eventually coming to the way that you want to be in meditation today, whether that's seated on a chair or a cushion or lying down or standing up. All of the positions are welcome. And those of you who have been with me before have heard me say this, but I'm going to say it again. In my opinion, especially when you're beginning to meditate, being comfortable is one of the most important things. The body's uncomfortable. It's very hard to drop in and be present. So using whatever props, really asking yourself, is there some way I could be 5 or 10% more comfortable, just a little more comfortable? And I myself am noticing I'm having a bit of a shoulder injury today. So I'm just going to model that and try to get a little bit more comfortable. I'm going to grab a pillow. So grab whatever you need, but get your body at ease, get your body comfortable. Okay. So once you've found as comfortable as you can be of a position, beginning by feeling where your sacrum, where your butt, where your base is contacting the floor. Seeing if you can imagine your breath traveling from your nose down into that seat, that place of stability. Breathing into the seat or the sacrum, the base of the spine. And again, this is all imagination. You're just using your imagination to see or feel the breath traveling down through the body into the base of the body. And then on the out breath, imagining that you have a tail or a root, and that root begins to grow down through the seat or cushion or floor if you're laying down, and it travels downward through your home or your office or wherever you're at, travels right down into the ground, into the earth, down, down, deep into the earth, energetically connecting you with the earth, just like the taproot of a tree. So breathing in through the nose, or if you're stuffy, through the mouth. Breath goes to the spine and the seat. And then as you breathe out, that energy, that breath energy goes down from the sacrum, from the seat, into the earth. rooting you even more deeply, connecting you even more deeply into the earth. So, as we practice that together, I'm just going to be quiet and we'll do that for several breaths with that visualization of the movement of the breath and the root connecting you into the earth. And as you breathe out and down into the earth, see if you can invite your face to soften, your mouth to soften a little bit with each out breath. Just focusing on the mouth and the face and the muscles around the eyes, kind of letting the whole face just drop with each out breath. And then moving your awareness down the body to the shoulders. Just like with the face, inviting the shoulders now with each out breath as the energy moves down into the earth, into more stability. See if you can invite the shoulders to drop down into the earth, to soften a little bit. And this is an invitation rather than a command. So We have tension patterns in the body that are not to be forced to change. But sometimes we're holding tension that actually can be released. So see if there's any of that tension that can be released. And noticing how you're breathing. Has your breathing pattern shifted to just be up in the chest, or are you still breathing down in the belly? And just gently shifting to that belly breathing so that when you're breathing in, belly is expanding. When you're breathing out, belly moves backwards towards the spine. And then once more, moving your awareness down into the lower half of the body, the legs and the pelvis, buttocks. And just noticing if there's any clenching or holding. And once again, inviting the body with the out breath. You might even inwardly say the word soften. Again, not a command, but an invitation to release those muscles. Always coming back to the breath. So, at the request of one of the participants, I'm going to guide a little bit more about working with physical pain, but this could apply to emotional pain that's in the body. Most of us have dealt with physical or emotional pain in the body at one time or another, or will in the future. If that's not your experience today, I would invite you to simply stay with your breathing. And it doesn't even have to be pain, it could be You could work with sensation, you could work with discomfort. So, pain, discomfort, tension, any of these words can be interchangeable. And I'm going to use the word sensation because the word pain is so loaded. So just know that whenever I use the word sensation, you can apply it to physical or emotional pain or discomfort. But ultimately, at its root, all of it is simply sensation. And I'm going to use the fact that actually I'm having quite a bit of sensation in my shoulder today to speak to that. And then hopefully it applies to something you're experiencing today, or maybe something you'll experience in the future. So when the body is experiencing something that it labels as a difficult sensation, something it doesn't like, we tend to, in our minds, wall it off. And the way that that presents in the body is a literal walling off with tension. So a lot of times there's an injury or an emotional discomfort. And then almost as like a defense mechanism, the body tightens around it as a protective, seemingly protective strategy. But then oftentimes in my own body, what I notice is that actually amplifies or increases the sensation. So, whatever sensation you're working with today, if you are working with something you might label as a difficult or challenging sensation or emotion, let's just begin by breathing into that area. And what I mean by that is imagining that you can breathe in through your nose or mouth and see or feel or imagine the breath going to that part of the body. I like to visualize something like a cooling river, the breath as a cooling river that can flow to a part of my body and gently cradle it. There may be times, maybe today, that a part of your body is experiencing something physical or emotional, and it might feel good to give the body some extra support of your own touch. So if it's a part of the body that you can easily reach, that is comfortable, you might even want to put one of your hands on that part of your body. And you might need to grab props. So we're not looking to increase tension in the body, we're looking to decrease it, to help the body feel safe and soften. I know that sometimes when I'm having emotional challenge, just putting my hand on my face, it's very sweet endearing gesture, or sometimes on my head, my forehead. So you might play around with, like, where does it feel good to have my hand on my body? Does it feel good? Does it not feel good? And then shifting. And all the while continuing to imagine breath flowing into this area of your body. And you might even want to add even more support for this part of your body. Maybe the breath can carry sound or music. Maybe you imagine this part of your body being held in a sound vibration or a color. Maybe there's a comforting color. Maybe there's another human or an animal that you want to imagine being here with you. Maybe the animal or the person or the tree is next to you, or maybe they are gently touching somehow this part of your body, bringing it loving comfort. We're just showing this part of the body that we're here, we're listening. It's like saying to the body, rather than walling you off and rejecting you, as we so often do when things are uncomfortable, I'm actually going to be with you. I'm going to listen. I'm going to presence this part. There's such a tendency to get angry with the body. So normal when it's in pain or not function not functioning the way we want it to. But just seeing if this different approach, this more gentle, loving approach might feel better. So now shifting so that you're still breathing into this part of your body. And with the out breath, imagining that the wall that has gotten created around it is melting. You can even see the wall melting. Might look like a wall of muscle, might look like rock. Just seeing it as it dissolves. Imagining the wall dissolve and drain down into the ground. And we've learned from neuroscience and psychology that the body is where we hold memories. Body is where we hold memories from before we could talk. So, whether this is something that's active because of an injury as an adult, I still believe that sometimes these sensations in our body are showing us body memories, maybe. And when we can meet them with gentleness and care, maybe some earlier part from childhood or some earlier adult part can feel a little bit more met, a little bit more cared for. And then this whole time, beginning to notice how sensation is not static. When we've walled something off, it becomes kind of a black hole of pain or discomfort. But when we start to attend to it and move towards it rather than pushing it away, we start to realize that actually sensation is always dynamic, it's always changing, it's always fluctuating. So, starting to see if you can notice these many fluctuations, these nuances of sensation. See if you can even bring a gentle curiosity to the sensations as they shift and change. See if you notice any stories that arise like this is always going to be this way, or the mind tends to get involved when things are uncomfortable because it wants to solve things. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But just see if for the next couple of minutes, if you can suspend that, notice the mind, and just continuously keep coming back to the actual experience in the moment of the sensations. Because the mind can tend to trip these alarms, um, these panic alarms, which then sort of loops the body back into recreating more tension. So continuously breathing into the area, inviting the area to soften, and noticing sensation. And when you're working with uncomfortable sensations, it's always welcome to just go to the breath and release your focus, or to go to a part of the body that actually feels neutral. So we can do something called pendulation. We can pendulate, we can go back and forth between touching this area that we've been avoiding, whether it be emotional or physical, going to a neutral place in the body, kind of gently just going back and forth, touching it lightly, going to a place that feels fine or good, easeful. Then inviting you to place your hands on your heart, maybe thanking yourself for taking the time today to attend to your emotional and physical body. And if you're able to make the sound of Om, I'd invite you to join me. And if you're in a space where you can't make sound, then just hear the sound, imagine the sound in your body. And if you are able to make sound, see if you can feel the sound of Om reverberating, its vibration reverberating through the physical body. So we'll breathe in, and then on the out breath, we'll make the sound together. Breathing in. Om. Thanks for being here today. It's good to be back meditating with all of you.